In our discussion today, how do we identify the service delivery challenges experienced by urban areas and factor them in our planning on how we share revenue? Secondly, is how do we enforce spatial planning as a mandatory measure in the rush for land banking?
On CRA, what incentives do you give to the counties, and is it monetary? Nairobi, the social funds. For me, I have been thinking for many years that maybe these funds are not working for us, and if these funds could just be given directly to the institutions that offer these services. If it is education, education is free. If it is the hospitals, and then if I, Juliet, need to go to hospital, I have a card that tells I am under social protection, and I go for the service there, because these funds are given to the people who do not even need them. And the people who need them most are left out.
Swali langu la mwendea Kefa. Hivyo anasema kana kwamba Nairobi kuna hiyo story ya ujenzi. Hivi mtajengeje mtu nyumba hili hali chakula mjampa? Kitu cha pili, huyo mtu nyumba yenye anaishi labda ni nyumba ya matope, alipa shilingi 800, huje umjengee nyumba umuitisha shilingi 3000, ilali ile 800 tatizo ni kulipa 3000, atatoa wapi? Swali lingine, hizo basari zenye mnapeana, muangalia walimu wapea ama mwapatia walimu wataka? Maana yake kule vijijini kuna wale wako na mahitaji kabisa, wanahitaji hizo basari kabisa, lakini zikifika pale juu wale wanapewa ni wale watu wenye wako na uwezo. Je, mwasaidia nini, ama ni kutuongezea shida sijui ya shida?
Kuhusu cash transfer, kuna mama mzee kabisa, tuseme kama kutoka 8 years anapata hizo pesa. Kwa hiyo boma tena kuna mtu ana disability ama wenye wana disability. Mmoja ndiye anapewa, nasikia mwingine hapewi. Kwa nini wasipatie kila mtu haki yake? Sababu kila mtu ako na shida zake.
In our budget in Nairobi County, we have been allocating money for various projects. I would give example, Waitaka Technical Institute. But since that money was allocated, we have not seen any progress. There is no implementation of that budget in that place. Nairobi County government is planning to construct 4 stadia in various places, including Kawangware, Kiumbuini, and 2 other places. My worry is that all these projects are appearing in the annual development plans, starting from last year and this year. And I've also seen the annual development plan for 2019-2020. Or the 4 projects are appearing. Could you give us progress on what is going on? Are we really going to be able to deliver on these 4 projects?
Nairobi County don't care for the dirty. Uchafu mwingi sana. Especially sewage inaingia baka kwa manyumba everywhere. If it is not in your place, my friends, where I do stay, there is a lot of dirty.
NHIF tunalipa the lowest person 500 mwenye ako self-employed. Surely ukienda kwa hizi maofisi za government kama Mama Lucy, mali huwa tunakimbilia watu wa Mkuru kwa Njenga. Unaambiwa hakuna madawa uende ubai. Na wewe hizo uko na NHIF. Kila mwezi nalipa 500. Mali nenda kubai hizo madawa na mbona nitoe cash. Hii 500 napeleka kwa NHIF inasimamia nini? Gava ifanye kama hakuna madawa kwa hizo hospitali, mali natumwa kwenda kubai hizo madawa na cash, hiyo NHIF ilipie hizo madawa. That's why unapata ukienda Mkuru kwa Njenga watu wengi hawana NHIF. Iwasaidii, unaenda kwa hosi hakuna dawa, unaandikiwa uende ubai dawa, unaenda kubai dawa unatumia cash. End of the month unalipa NHIF for what purpose?
Kuna hospitali inajengwa Kariobangi na imejengwa karibu miaka 5. Hiyo hospitali ingekuwa imemalizwa, at least ingekuwa inasaidia hiyo community. Tunashindwa kwa nini kuna pesa zinasemekana zinatokanga kila mwaka na hospitali kama hiyo yenye ingekuwa inasaidia watu haimalizwi kujengwa.
What I have observed during my studies, I observed that we need some guidelines to guide the application of those poor policies. The issue of public participation has actually been a thorny issue, because when counties are going to meet public, there is no prior information that has reached to actually to real mwananchi, to the grassroots. Some maybe the prior information that have been furrowed in the public is through newspaper. How many people are being reached by a newspaper in the rural areas? Let us say even in Nairobi areas, in those slum areas, how many people are actually buying newspaper? Can we use like mass SMS, local radio channels in Kiswahili, because Nairobi is a metropolitan?
When we talked about bursaries, and one thing I would say, it's very sad in our country that even when you float bursaries, who are the people who control these bursaries? People with vested interest. Again, even local citizens, people who are even able to pick the forms. The other issue of law enforcement, when we talk of in that act, there was overall to be the county integrated committee, which was now to check issues of duplication, where CDF is giving bursary, national government is county government, MCA is giving bursary, which was to be headed by the governor. Then all the people come put together. But you find because of the political differences, these policies or laws are not followed.
Your governors have the discretion, have the budgetary discretion. We as a commission do not have the authority to tell them how to spend their money. The people who do are your county assemblies, your MCAs. Au ndio wamepewa hiyo kazi na katiba, sio sisi. Na tukienda huko, we shall have overstepped our mandate. So it is your county assembly. That is why they must approve and pass the budget. Unless they do, your governor cannot implement that budget.
I'll attempt to answer the questions that have been raised, which are directed at Nairobi County. Issue number one that I want to address, the issue of civic education. We are very keen to partner with the civil society, and we have come up with a public participation policy which enshrines civic education, and a particular sector has been assigned that. Finance and economic planning, we are a major consumer of public participation. In terms of housing, the question is, are we going to provide housing without food? For now, the challenge that we have in Nairobi is housing with an acute shortage of affordable housing to a tune of 200,000 units per year. And the reason of this is that there is a lot of rural-urban migration. Rural-urban migration directed at Nairobi is at 4.8%, and that is the greatest driver of population growth in the city. Alongside food security, which we are driving through enhancing, we have reviewed our policies that used to prohibit urban agriculture. Now you can do agriculture in Nairobi. You have seen some of our extension officers coming to areas to teach citizens about new technologies, especially in the informal settlements. So we are hoping that there is going to be uptake of that technology so that we enhance our capacity to produce our own food. The bursary is an issue. The target here is bright children from needy backgrounds. But the problem is greed, so that you find that there is always a human hand somewhere. In terms of development allocation, we are not able to absorb. And you can see, if you read the report of the Controller of Budget, Nairobi is not the worst performing. Just in 3 months' time, 2 months ago, we were ranked the best in terms of development index. We are trying, but we have challenges in terms of sometimes we have a deficit, and that becomes an issue that we are addressing at the moment. Stadia, we have 4 stadiums which are ongoing at the moment. The Dandora, which is at 60% completion. And we are not just doing renovation. We are doing an overhaul so that we can have a stadia that meets international standards. Kawangware was recently launched, and it's ongoing. Kihumbuini was also, groundbreaking was done. Ziwani will follow. We cannot do all the projects at the same time because of resource constraints, but I want to beg that you give us an opportunity this time around to see how we move with those projects. Finally, the report on first generation CIDP is available in my office, so whoever is in need can get in touch with me. The issue of affordability of health services Indeed, all the public health services offered in our health facilities are affordable. It's only that sometimes the challenge we have had before is that you find that we don't have drugs, so that when you go there as a patient, then you have to go and buy drugs elsewhere. Efforts have been done to repay KEMSA, who are the suppliers of our drugs. Our supply has resumed, and we expect that our facilities will be running normally once again. What we have put in the annual development plan this time around for 2018-2019, we want to be held accountable on a regular basis, and we do quarterly monitoring reports. So if you may want to know what we have done in the first quarter of each financial year, you are free to visit our office, and you can be able to get to see what we are doing.
What was our priority from various CIDPs was our health center. So we embarked on an improvement program for all the hospitals. In our budget currently, which is 15 billion, we are spending 4.8 billion on hospitals. 800 millions we are already projects on expanding new blocks for health facilities to increase their bed capacity.
I will respond to the two questions that were raised. One of the questions was that what is this incentive that the Commission gives to the counties, and can it be known to the public? And therefore, what we did is that we put a fiscal effort in the formula, and this fiscal effort had to do with the amount of on-source revenue increment from one financial year to another. And therefore, when we computed that, we found that there were some counties who had increased their on-source revenue, and there are other counties who had decreased their own source revenue, or some had not, didn't have a significant change. Two, as the public, you need to know this and hold your leaders to account and ask them, why are we not getting anything from on-source revenue allocation as a parameter? Because there are several counties who got nothing from all the amount that was allocated based on that fiscal effort parameter.